Hello. Hi. Welcome to my channel. BRB, I need to charge tablet. No worries, guys. Hi. My name is Chris Farah. Welcome to my channel where today we'll be talking about TV stuff, obviously, but also like whatever life stuff, it all comes up. TV is life, life is TV. There was like some sort of quote that used to be like, if it's a theater nerd quote, theater is life, film is art, television is furniture. Is this theater nerd quote I remember like putting on an AIM or like an AOL profile a long time ago. Hi, yay! Hello, friends. Hi, nice to see you all. So I titled the chit chat, obviously I do. Shows we'll talk about. And, 90 Day Fiance is almost like a given, but I also wanted to lead with the opportunity to talk to you. Oh, just put that on. Do not disturb. With the opportunity to talk about Love is Blind, which I binge watched all 6 episodes of, 5 or 6 episodes of, for this season 6 that just dropped on Netflix, as they do. And so if you are up to speed on them, we can talk about it. If not, we can definitely obviously talk about the 90-Day World, and that's season 10 and Single Life. Plus, obviously, the world that we know of 90 Day Fiance exists beyond those shows because it's such a huge juggernaut. And like this Mary Brandon situation is really messy. So, you know what I'm saying? Like Renee, I don't know if she's gonna come in here. Like, like I know Renee is always in the Reddit forums and stuff like that. I know you guys might know too. Sometimes I feel like Lisa like knows Reddit stuff too, which is basically that Mary posted that she had colon cancer and then put up a GoFundMe. And then people were like, that's weird. Her like story about that's kind of like interesting how that played out. And then a statement was put out where it's written in third person as if Brandan is writing it, but the cadence of and the verbiage feels like Mary's writing it, talking about how Mary thought she had colon cancer because, God bless, she just like looked up symptoms and had them and doesn't really know yet. And the GoFundMe is for a procedure, blah, blah, blah. It's like that's what's happening. So that's what we can talk about. Oh my God. Yay. Thank you. A little super sticker, a little super chat, a little extra tip that really makes me feel good. Thank you so much. I don't really get a lot anymore. I forgot what they were like on YouTube. There was like a time on YouTube, God bless, but thank you so much. This means a lot. This is like my like old timey thing. Like there was a time on YouTube where I would go live and like, yeah, people would like tip me all the time. It felt like what it used to feel like. And I think I'm sure I made this reference at the time. Like what it used to be like to go to work and get tips at a restaurant. And specifically, I was always the kind of waitress that was like, I would talk to anyone who would want to talk to me. And at times I worked at a counter service situation. There was a counter. It's like obviously if you are with the channel for a long time, you know that I worked for a long time at a place called Real Food Daily, which has changed ownership. It used to, it used to be this, now is still a restaurant in West Hollywood. And they have a juice counter. I don't know if they still do because again, they change ownerships, but they'd have a counter people would go to and you could just like order like organic vegan food and like, juices and whatnot. And at the time there was like basically no other place to go because it was the first one. Anyway, having said all that, there were a lot of people that would come and just sit at the counter or whatever. And I would just like talk to people for like my whole shift. So it sometimes felt like, how does I go and like talk to people for my whole shift? Now definitely would have to make drinks too at the counter, whatever, God bless. But at the same time, it was fun. I thank you. Thank you for giving me a little tip. It always makes me feel really great. So, but here, hi, now that you are all here, can we talk about, yeah, Brandon and Mary? Yes, we can talk about that, obviously. And then on IG, she cooked something and then renovating their house. Oh, I don't know. God bless. But we also can talk about, tell me if you're into Love is Blind, obviously, and tell me if you're into Traders, which I have been talking about on this channel for the past 3 weeks. And so we can continue that. Obviously, there's no love after lockup. Um, what else? If you're watching other things, you have to tell me. I was talking about True Detective on these broadcasts, but people are not really into it. So whatever. I really am not as up to speed in the last one, so that's why I didn't put it on here. Okay. Okay. All right. So, of 90 Day Fiance world, let's go back in time. Or do you want to do? What do you guys want to do first? Do you want to talk about Love Is Blind first, or do you want to talk about 90 Day Fiance stuff first? There was a Canadian Traders, but it seemed corny. I mean, supposedly, Trader started off as a not, American show. So I think it's like UK and Australia. Like I know there's like whole situations. I have my microphone right here. Oops. I have my microphone right here, but I'm going to be cutting this apple. So you tell me what happens. I used to feel sorry for Brandon, and you're all saying Brendan, but you know that it's Brandon. But honestly, I think he is up to something trying to scam money. It's really gross when he turns around and calls Mary a scammer. You know what? It's so funny. Or maybe not funny, but just of note. I, until this moment, forgot that he called her a scammer. Yeah, he called her a scammer. And at that time, we thought that maybe he meant that she had scammed him to give her all the money, whatever, and then, fix the house of Lola. And then she got there and then got pregnant. And now she's scamming him for like more, I guess. But it's interesting because it does definitely also feels like in this moment they are scamming, So I wonder what's happening. Mary has always seemed like someone who is going through it mentally. Now, why it's interesting is, sorry, I'm cutting this apple. Why it's interesting is usually people who have like personality disorders, it's hard for them to admit it, but Mary, we've seen cry, being like, I don't know why I'm like this, and I wish I wasn't, I want to change, like all of that, right? Which is always incredibly, oh my God, Renee. Yay, you guys, I'm so happy you're here. Hi. We're talking about Mary and Brandon. Him calling her a scammer back then and then having this happen and then knowing that she definitely knows that she suffers from some mental illnesses and is open about it is of interest because usually people who are like major scammers and some people who have like borderline personality disorders, often they don't admit it. Like, like they won't, it's like hard for them to see it, but she sees her issues, or at least seemingly does. This colon cancer thing, like, let's just say the world in which she is just, as she said, experiencing some symptoms, whatever they are, and is on TikTok and like, is like, oh, I have sometimes that, I have that, I must have colon cancer. And then she freaks out because let's just give her a lot of grace and compassion. There's hormonally a lot of things happening with this woman's body because she just gave birth, blah, 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 blah. What if she just really thought that she had cancer? And then as things progress and as more details and Brandon realizes, that things are getting hot and heated, he wants her to release a statement, but he like doesn't know how to deal with it. Like what is of interest is for whatever reason, and we don't know what exactly it is. Brandon does not seem to have found a footing financially in this country to make anything where obviously it's hard. I have like an eyelash in my eye. Obviously it's hard to make money there. I mean, in the sense of obviously, because it's hard to make money there because there's a lot of people in poverty. So Brandon presents certain skills and I'm assuming might be of use, whether he is just because he speaks good English or who knows what. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, but even as a young buck, even as like a young man, he's never seemed to not only bring anything to the table financially once getting there, but also has actively avoided it. Now, he definitely brought in a bunch of money in the beginning, but we don't know exactly what he thinks the end game is, like I think with them, when you're on a television show, maybe they think that from this they should be building the empire that others have and they're, the Miona beauty or whatever, like and therefore they're expecting more money to come in. But you almost have to be like, just pretend that your miracle in life has already happened. And then that it's over happening. And now from here, move on. Because I I think that they, especially Mary, I'm sure Mary, because she's more of like a social media person, has dreamed of them turning this newfound fame into like Instagram. No, sorry, I'm old. TikTok, Reels. No, wait. TikTok and sponsorships. Like I'm sorry, this is what I want to say. Like she probably thinks that they should be like influencing with tours of this and that, and people should be clicking on them and stuff like that. And what's messy about that is they are not aspirational. Mary's beautiful and Brandon's not bad looking, yet their personalities are so that even with the natural interest of their like TV fame and them being relatively attractive people and fish out of water for him, like despite all of that interest, their personalities are not such that I feel they're going to make it in the influencer realm. Also, I don't see them like caring enough to put out consistent good content, but also mostly like I don't want to follow them. It makes me depressed. It would make me depressed to follow them. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we know too much. We know what their life is like. It's not exciting. Like he's and her, they're crazy together. And like it gives you the creeps, like, and so I think that I don't know. I think that it's interesting. It's like you really have to be a curated person in order to give off an image that you can, I think, make money off of. Now, here's to say you can say, well, bad press is any press or whatever. And I get what you're saying, if bad press is any press, but then you better have professional people in line to turn that bad press into opportunity. But a lot of people who are just like not famous, but they become Instagram or become Insta famous, who think they can get away with having a lot of bad publicity and or when I say bad publicity, bad narrative, like not positive narrative. That doesn't in turn mean you can have like long-standing success, because you don't have the infrastructure to turn that bad shit negative into positive. You know what I'm saying? I hope all is well with them. Well, definitely I hope she doesn't have cancer. But I also, yeah, I mean, I don't want anyone to give money to them. If she has cancer, people can do whatever they want with their money. But I definitely don't feel like people should be giving money to a GoFundMe if someone just thinks they might have cancer from doing internet research and we're still waiting on certain tests to be done. It seems premature because it just seems grabby. I understand the desire to make videos and bring in a steady income, but I don't think for most people it's sustainable. So, what about retirement? Does it work the same as a regular career? It's interesting because I just got really into like falling into my little secret vice is like I like Utah Mormon bloggers. I mean, I don't I like, I think I find it like fascinating. I would watch like a docu-series on them, God bless. It's like that kind of stuff. And it's interesting if you are a Mormon kind of Utah mommy blogger, and maybe you know what I'm talking about, like those kinds of ladies. The process of being an influencer and showcasing your life is so all encompassing of your life that it's like all of your children, all of your children's activities, like All of your holidays, your holiday planning, like your outfits, your workouts, your food, like your vacations, your, inner thoughts, your health scares, your health problems, all of it is like on the table. All of your loved ones, health problems. That's all like unfortunately um what's the documentary on Mormon? Is there a documentary on Mormon Utah? I'm not saying there is one, but if there is one, I'd watch it. I'm just obsessed with it. And if there is one, let's watch it. Okay. Um but what I'm trying to say is, yeah, like it's hard to have the line if that's the life you want. The life you want is to make money on showcasing your life. And I think the best way, not the best way, but mm, showcase your life and you think that it's going to be like a positive slash aspiration. You have to be really, really strategic about what you're sharing and what you don't share. And a lot of the mommy bloggers specifically share everything. Because sometimes the more vulnerable posts you share are highly engaged and can be, you know, great content, but also you are giving a piece of yourself. I wish there was one too. Me and you will make it. I don't know them, and I really need it in. But obviously, like it's like the Rachel Parcells and like the ballerina farm people. Like like all of that. Like like oh yes, great, because it like feels like mainstream Mormonism to me definitely feels just like what feels like a branch of conservative Christianity to me. And I'm also becoming from a different part of different part of Christianity, which is Catholicism. So, having said that, Catholicism, there's trade wife Catholic bloggers, and I, for some reason, maybe just haven't found like the one or two of those ones that I find charming enough. But I don't even know. Like, I mean, I'm assuming that like the traditional Catholic wives, bloggers, and the way they live, I'm assuming are close to like the Mormon mommy bloggers, right? I mean, aren't these like tomatoes at some point? But having said that, that's like another part of like, I want to know what the differences are. Like, yeah, I don't know obviously a lot about Mormonism, and I know a lot about Catholicism. And, there's a lot of like the misty woo woo parts of Catholicism, like the scapulars. I'm always fascinated with this. This is what I will write, about what I know, like the rosaries and the scapulars and all the saints and the saints' days and like, this day is that. Like all of that is like a lot for someone, thanks God, a lot for someone who doesn't do that to take in. And, you know, it's just, yeah, what you show and like what people connect with. Maybe we can see a vlog about you speed dating Mormon men. Oh, is that what the people want? I will give them what they want. Okay, so Love is Blind is really, really good. I feel like no one's talking about it. So the Brittany and sorry, the basically the Marion Brandan thing. Supposedly, I mean, there hasn't been an update since he wrote that, which feels like it's supposed to be from him, but the way that it was written of him saying what Mary had done felt very like she had written it. Um, I'm going to their account. Oh, I keep spelling it. No, it's not like that. I'm just trying to see if there's any real time. No, there's no real time. I think. Oh, I don't know. Wait one second. I just want to make sure. I want to talk about Love Is Blind though. Okay. Finally, I found his. I mean, he hasn't posted since Valentine's Day, and then there's a picture of her. And she has this post up, which I'll read to you. Sorry it took me so long to find it, but here we are. Okay. I love you always and forever. Thank you for being with me through this days where I can't handle all the stress anymore. Thank you for being patient and do a lot of paperworks for me. I love you. Thank you for not giving up on me in my worst times. People say bad things. I know. I know you're tired of driving around and not eating on time. Thank you so much, Babs. People don't know what we've been through these days, but we are strong and won't let them bring us down. I love you and I want to be healthy for you and our child, Midnight and our Lola. Also for the people who knows us and knows us truly. I mean, okay. I hope that she's okay. I don't want her to have colon cancer. Jesus. But I mean, it doesn't, it just, I'm not quite sure. I don't know what to tell you about that. Um, One thing about Mormonism is they have different levels of heaven. The higher up you are means you can go down and visit on the lower level, but they can't go up to the higher level to visit. That's so funny. I don't know why that's fine. It's like elitism. Hey guys, yeah, we're gonna go back up to that penthouse. Yeah, like the VIP area. Just like we had a little more wives than you, we just like did better in our lives than you, but like stay down here and enjoy the alcohol. I don't know. Mm, okay. Been debating whether to watch the new season of Love is Blind while I breastfeed. So you guys recommend it. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's great. What are you eating? I'm hungry. I'm so sorry. I know. So am I. I'm eating apples. It's like a Fiji apple, and they're like cracker cuts of cheese. Okay, so watch Love in Translation. Okay, I think that's like on Netflix. But let's go down to my couples. Okay, so for you guys, so let's go into my couples, and then you can tell me what you think. These are, I guess, with me. Well, actually, I don't know if you've never watched it. I want to give like spoilers. Oh no, I don't want to give you guys spoilers of who people are. That was a spoiler I just gave you. But can I be honest? I just gave a spoiler of the picture I just put up of a couple. If you haven't watched the first 6 episodes, but neither one of those people have any other people they talk to really in the pods, and their coupling happens like within 1 or 2 sessions in such a way that's like a little back burner. So of all the couples to give away, I guess that one's the best one. But yeah, I have pictures of all the couples, but if I give them all to you, then you're gonna know. I'll just tell you I watched them with my dad, and maybe I'll wait till next week. Um, I really, really liked Jostle's like that. I don't the worst show. I really liked watching with my dad. Like at first he wasn't into it, and then he was into it. And the funniest thing is when my dad thinks he's not going to be into something, but then I know that he's into it. And by the time the first episode ends and like it goes into the second one, he's like so into it. He's like, let's watch another one. I'm like, I know. And look, okay, so if you're in the world of this one that we're in pop culture world, you might have heard that one couple involves a girl, a woman, who describes herself as looking like, while in the pods, she's talking to this man. She says that she looks like Megan Fox. And I know why she says it, and she says a couple of times, not exactly, but just like my coloring, like my dark hair, my light eyes, which she does have. She has both dark hair and light eyes. It's not black raven hair, but it is the contrast that she is talking about. Now, I think that people have told this girl in her life that she looks like Megan Fox. And she's heard it a couple times. And every time she does, she's like, fuck yes. It's just that it's hard to compare yourself to like what society has all deemed top tier of anything. Like, when okay, remember, and I know, especially in American Idol early days, but maybe every year, gonna always, I don't even know if it's still on, but there's always gonna be someone who comes up and before the person sings, they're like, well, what kind of voice do you have? Like, what do you sound like? And it'll be like a person will be like, Mariah Carey. I sound just like Mariah Carey. And then everyone's kind of like, huh, okay. The Mariah Carey, huh? You sound like the Mariah Carey when you're gonna sing, you open your mouth, it's gonna sound like the Mariah Carey. Okay, just because we definitely know what that sounds like. I mean, that's that person, and it's specifically, ideally, this thing that we know so well. Let's just hear what that sounds like. And I mean, it's hard because the outcome of like just let's just say the American Idol contestant is they open their mouth, they sound nothing like Mariah Carey, which is usually what happens. Everyone's face just melts off as they watch. Or B, they sound like a shittier version of Mariah Carey. Or not okay, or a less than, just even a less than version, like a wannabe Mariah Carey, where you are like, I can't even tell if I like this girl's voice, but she's not Mariah Carey. And even if in this one song she's trying desperately to sound like Mariah Carey, it doesn't do her any service because she's not Mariah Carey. And now I can't even form an opinion of what I would even hear. I don't know what the answer is. To say a couple of people with a this and a that and a this one mixed in, that feels like maybe the only answer. I'm going to tell you this right now. When I used to be heavier, when I used to weigh more weight, I thought I looked just identically to Kathy Najimy, who was always much older than me because she's a little older than me, much older than me. So after losing weight, the celebrity that I get the most, and I have no makeup on right now, God bless. I think it's definitely me with makeup on. So I'm not giving it to you and you're just gonna have to like think about it or whatever, is Leah Remini. And I like Leah Remini is like very pretty, funny comedic actress of like maybe Italian-y descent, but I'm not quite sure. And who famously was a Scientologist for years, and like turned on, whatever. Not, I mean, yeah, turned on them in a great way, and turned in a great documentary series about that, and that's what her life's about. I personally don't see a Leah Remini at all. Like, I just don't see it, but I think that it's just like I think of myself being I don't know, it's like it's hard for me to understand what people think my facial features look like, but I think that if I'm in the pods, I would need to give someone a coupling of a couple of people so that they don't lock into one. Like, I think that Leah Remini is gorgeous, but if I just said Leah Remini, then they would be like waiting for Leah Remini up, and then they would be like, they'd get that, and they would just be like, "Who's that?" I don't know. um, you look like Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman, so funny. I mean, God bless, beautiful, white, skinny woman. What? Okay, but God bless. I love it. It's so funny. And I totally see Leah in you. I mean, I could be giving you less right now, and I'm so sorry. I'm like giving you just like apples and cheese and messy hair, but it's raining in LA, in Orange County. But having said that, so the internet is having a big folly over this woman saying that, and in whether the man who's picking between her and someone else, what he's going to think when, because he's going to see both women at some point anyway. That's the beauty of Love is Blind, when you realize later on in the later seasons that like anything that happens of interest to the people they find, like they ultimately pick in the pods, which obviously is a lot of people will never see, which are the contestants that either didn't form interesting enough unions or great enough unions, or like triangle-y enough unions to warrant being placed on the show. But anytime, obviously, the couples that do, if they have leftover ideas and triangles of people from the pods, they'll bring them back. They can't wait to. Have you ever had Scientology recruiters try and nab you? I'm not afraid to talk about it. I, back in the day, on like the actor submission sites, they would have like industrial, and they'd always have audition notices that they would have for a production company that wouldn't say Scientology, but the auditions were at the Celebrity Center. And I remember I somehow went to one once very early on, like you had to sign in and give a bunch of information. And it was like, maybe they would produce some Scientology-esque video, but yeah, like their thing was that they would get a bunch of actors to come, sit down, sign in. They'd have them, their information, their phone number, their email, whatever. And they could pitch them Scientology, of course. But even then, beyond then, they also had like different classes and workshops. So the answer is yes, they did. Not because of the Leah Remini thing, and they shouldn't, because I have no YouTube. I have absolutely no connection to her. Nothing. Can't do anything about it. So let's see. So I'm going to wait, I guess, to talk about them because I don't want to give up all the couples. But we'll see. AD is definitely my dad's favorite. My dad loves AD. Jessica is very feisty, weisty. And, if you watched where we are in this, there's a part that Jessica lays into Jimmy in such a way that my dad loved it. Like, loved it, which made me so happy. Okay, so in 90 Day Land, we are gearing towards the end of season 10 with this episode 17. And not to be a broken record, and definitely Wahama said it, and I'll just reiterate it, which is that Nikki and Igor should not be on 90 Day Fiancé, because they are, in fact, before the 90 days, as Nikki is going to Moldova to make sure that this is the one and they're ready to do it and he's ready for her and all the stuff, right? That's like what, that's why at the end of this season, they're not getting married. They never were going to get married there. That was never the plan. So they shouldn't be on this season. It's so weird that they are. My only thought was that there was some change-a-roo last minute for whatever reason, or they got pushed over and they had old footage. I cannot tell you, but it just makes no sense. Anyway, so we have no Ashley and Manuel this episode, but obviously we're teased with the storm of Bruin, which there's one here, and the storm of Bruin for them when they finally get married. And true to snuff, it looks like Ashley is going to use, she's going to have one of those crystal crown tiara things, their headbands where the crystals stand straight up. Sorry, like this. That makes sense. That makes sense. She's living her best life, It does sort of feel like she bought it on Etsy and it came, and I wish that it was a little more grand for her, but spoiler on Nikki and Igor. I bet you can't guess where they are today. America for the next season? Guess where they are today. Oh, yes, tell us. Okay, so Sophie and Rob. This episode was the episode where I fully was like, you know what? I love Claire. I love Sophie's mom's Claire. I love Claire. And the reason why is because she has such personality, right? Like it's obviously like, and she has such a look. It's a look, it's a personality, it's a voice, it's an accent, all of it. Just top tier. And she's interesting in a way where she says things that are exciting and to the point and blunt, where if she was not there, could you imagine? It's just Rob is a knob. Like, and Sophie is just young. And I feel like Sophie's main priority is just to be in LA. So she's not to be trusted for like making any other choices other than to stay in LA. According to Nikki, he texted her after she got home and dumped her. Oh, honey. Well, it's one of the best. He got one of the best nose jobs I've ever seen. What a win. What a win for him there. I think that she has to move on. I mean, the thing about Nikki, and this is a scary thing for all women, because I'm going to say this for me, is that Nikki really fell hard into wanting like the ideal perfect life because she felt like she had been robbed of it the entire time and it was finally her turn. But none of it was real and he didn't want it. And so when he said that he'd want threesomes and she's like, what threesomes? I've already been past that. I just want like to settle down and do this. It's like, okay, well, that's not what he wants. And he's been open with that. And he's not, the same age as you. So instead of like hearing that and like, I guess, adapting according to the person that God had before her or the universe had before her, she instead just like moved on with that as if it didn't happen, as if this relationship was going to work out because she was given the chance to karaoke sing her shitty song at the engagement party, so I love this. I love you. You're so sweet. Unless it's unsafe or very toxic, I think people should at least call the person. Text is lame. Well, hopefully he can use his nose to find a bunch of Moldovan women for threesomes. It's true. He can sniff them out. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it is really lame. He just didn't want to deal with her. I just want to hear his confessional. I texted Nikki that we should break up because we want different things. I should have called Nikki, but I'm scared little boy. I think it'd be like, oh yeah, yes you are. With the great nose job. It just looks so natural. Why is it hard? Like, why is other people's nose jobs not as easy for them? They want to take off too much? Did he just go in and say, I want the most natural nose job ever? Or is his surgeon just one of the best surgeons? Like, there are other people in the Matt Sharp world on other shows, like let's just Love After Lockup or whatever, that have nose jobs. In America, where I'm not saying this because it's America, it should be better, but there is an idea that American healthcare is great. And what I'm telling you is that these nose jobs are not as good. Okay, so thank you. I like doing this voice. Gino and Jasmine. Wait, I'm so sorry. I was talking about Sophie and Rob. I'm sorry. I'm not done with Sophie and Rob. I said this on the podcast, but she goes to the florist with her mom, who I love, Claire, as I said. And the colors for her wedding, she says are pink and blue. Now, what pink? What blue? What kind of pink? Mauve and sky? N- Navy blue and baby pink? Is it neon pink? I mean, what? And Tiffany blue? There are too many pinks. I mean, for a wedding, I mean, blush and bashful. There are too many pinks for you to tell someone that pink, just pink, is a color. And then on top of that, blue. Like the the idea of saying that and then having to take that in. Like if I was a florist and I asked them and then they said pink and blue, I would just be like, "Oh my god, this person doesn't know anything about what's going to happen." And I would wait for them to give more information. And when I realized that having given them breath, that's where they put a period at the end of the sentence, I'd be like, this asshole is going to make me pull from them the follow-up questions and answers I need because they haven't done it or they don't know it. Because it's just, I mean, don't we live in a world where it's kind of like if you would never just say purple, you would say like lilac or violet. If it was red, then you would be like, I want cherry red or I want burgundy. Like if it's because yeah, red is one of those all these colors are too, like what are you talking about? You can't just say one color, maybe yellow, but even if yellow would be like, okay, is it like bright? Is it like yellow? Is it like Capri where you want like yellows and whites, like in the middle of, I don't know, the south of Italy? Anyway, so that just obviously irked me to the core because literally after she says pink and blue, the florist at this place is like, okay, well, I have some options to show you. And it's like, oh, I wonder what the option, I mean, maybe this really is just like, maybe there is 6 bouquets back there. So if given the idea that she likes pink and blue, there are probably some bouquets with pink back there that she's like, well, I'll just show her the pink ones because it doesn't seem like she cares. But maybe this is it. Maybe it's like, it's like, I think I'm being a little too intense about this. Maybe Sophie's like, I don't give a shit, bitch. It's just a bouquet. What blue flowers? Like blue? Yeah, she just wants blue, I guess. I, okay, pink and blue, just pink and yeah, just well, she knows she wants it. How interesting. Mhm. Okay, so I guess I even want Claire. Okay, this is the last thing I'll say. Even in that moment, I want Claire, who has lived on this earth in England with a lot of money, who knows what, God bless. Two of them will be like, well, Sophie, let's give her a little more than that, and they just like say something else. Do you have any worries? Whatever, I don't know. So Clayton and Annalie, I don't even know what to tell you, you guys. I will show you that I want to show you our really great reel that we created. When I say we, I mean Caitlin did it. Caitlin, who is the docu-sweeties social media, God bless, director, makes thankfully our social media for us, as we're really bad at that. And she like did such a fun video for us today. So I'm going to download it and show it to you. Yeah, the Clayton Annalie thing. I mean, like obviously we're supposed to assume that in fact Annalie doesn't know if she's going to get married because of the fact that Brandy, Clayton's sister, did what she wanted to do, which is throw her a bachelorette party with a stripper. And for some reason, that was too much for Clayton, just having a stripper by his woman. Okay. Is there dressed up. We see Brandy at one point with hair that we know Brandy did not do herself, which
Yes.
means on the premises is a person doing hair. And if Brandy has her hair done, guess who also is getting her hair done? Clayton's mom. Just kidding.
Annalie.
Annalie, obviously. Why I bring this up is because I want to believe, like you, that she's not going to come. They are making it seem like she is rolling around on her bed like in a white nightie with unwashed hair and no makeup on while Clayton is in his full tuxedo. Brandy gets there, and he's like, yeah, his mom gets there. They're all like, oh, hey, what's up, Clayton? And he's like, I don't know if I'm going to get married. And both women are kind of like, yeah, well, I don't know either.
Oh my gosh.
What a
Then
day. What a day we are having.
yeah,
It's
we're
all so
here.
lethargic.
We're here. Let's just
Yeah.
try to say that something might happen.
Mm. My conspiracy theory is that they really want to make us believe that she's not getting ready, that she is just on the phone, rolling around that bed, talking to her mom, and Clayton's getting ready with his friend, showing his friend where his brother in the spirit of his brother will sit. But he doesn't know. Sister's Brandy comes up, Clayton's mom comes up, everyone is just already dressed, full makeup. He's like, I don't know what's going to be happening with her. And she is in the same space. Like, there is a hairstylist and makeup artist supposedly getting her ready. There's no way that Brandy got a hairstylist and Annalie didn't. Which means if Annalie did get a hairstylist, there are many people to, in fact, check to see if she's getting ready. But the editors are making it seem like she's not, while like 30 minutes before the wedding, while Clayton is in full tuxedo. Now, I want her and him not to get married. A, because I don't think they are great together. B, because they haven't had basic conversations like what's going to happen with Clayton's mom for the rest of her life. And also C, because selfishly, I think it's the most dramatic option. And I would love to see it because I feel like it's important like for there to like not be just a bunch of toxic relationships. And I just don't, but at the same time, I don't trust that. I trust that I'm being sharped because I've been sharped so many times. And it's hard to open your heart again when you've been Matt sharped, which is what I feel like is happening. There's been no talk about her dad's reaction to her marriage. I know. Oh yeah, pink and blue. I know. I said that to you. I know. I feel like she didn't even make it public that she was with someone. So we're supposed to believe that she's going to get married. Her mom knows. Her mom is the one being like, "You better get fucking married. You've like put 2 years into this bullshit." And we're just supposed to believe that like she's never going to tell her dad. Anyone else in her life? God, it seems so weird. I just don't trust it. Anyway, I don't know. So that's what's happening there. I'm going to show you something else too that happened in the world. So basically, Sam and Citra are the couple we have next, and finally, that we can get on to single life. But Sam and Citra, oh my God, can you believe it? I cannot believe that Sam, does not care what what Islam is or what it means to like be in a religion like that at all. And his ideas of marriage and the way that it happens to be like what feels like a Christian, maybe centered sacrament. And so him converting and getting a Christian minister might be a problem isn't even an idea, is just like, it's just, I mean, it's really, it's just very ignorant, sure, but also a little bit only scary in that people really can go through their lives like not knowing enough. It feels like there's a willful ignorance to Sam. He very early on in the season said that, Yom Kippur was part of the Islamic holiday, like calendar. And we obviously know that's not true. And from that moment till now, I've seen like no growth or study of his new religion. And I will say that it's him for sure, but also I also blame like his parents and the parenting style. I think that there is something so lazy and so not prepared and so slack about the way that he approaches life. And I think it has to do with his dad and his mom. And I think that drug use and jails and problems with the law, like all of that is like indicative for him and others of like this sort of weak and or it's not a weak, it's like this incapacity to take charge of one's own necessary, like civilian-esque duties to be in this world, which is like paperwork, unfortunately, and DMV shit sometimes, and the registration, like all of that kind of like paying your bills and like paying your taxes. All of that is the annoying paperwork that happens just to be in this like country. I mean, just to be a civilian, like, I mean, and there's more. There's like, like whether you, yeah, pay your taxes, whether you vote, like, whether, if you get, whether you abide by certain laws, whether you, try and like drive well, whether you return baskets in the market, like your position, I think one's position, my position, Sam's position in the world, and especially, I mean, America's, I guess, where we are, is also like somewhat the mindset of that is somewhat also ingrained in like how your parents viewed things. So if your parents were kind of antisocial-esque, and I mean that in like a don't believe in the government and don't want to pay taxes and try and skirt responsibilities and or civilian responsibilities in that way, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you be like, and I don't gotta answer to this jury summons or whatever, like it's that kind of thing, one's relationship to, I think that kind of thing, can be like a learned, ingrained behavior. Sam's brain has been fried. It doesn't function like everyone else. I agree, but I don't look at his parents and think, oh, look at those astrophysicists. Sam's dad looks the same. Sam's dad looks like he, hasn't paid a tax in a long time or wouldn't want to, like, or would do whatever it takes to not have to, and or is behind on things, like, and or does the absolute least possible to skirt as much responsibility as possible because people prefer, and maybe rightfully so, people can live their lives how they want to live, to be, yeah, to do the least, to do the least. I get it. It's just that when you also raise kids, we can't have generations of people just doing the fucking least all the goddamn time, I think there's a lot of ways to like give of oneself as like civilian. I don't think you have to just pay your taxes or like pay your rent on time or pay your bills or whatever. Or like if you get a fix-it ticket, you have to like fix the thing and get the sign signed or whatever, and you have to get the sticker on your car every year and make sure that you have every All the dumb things with your insurance, like, all of that is like whatever. Also, yeah, I think there is something to the connection we all have. If you don't just leave your basket in the middle of a parking lot, knowing that like people can't park in that space because your basket's right there. You put it back where you can. You don't litter because other people walk around. Your trash doesn't magically just evaporate in the universe. But I don't know. This is whatever. So, um, basically, what I want to know is, do you believe? Okay, I believe that this happened where Sam, like got a Christian preacher and then had to be told that he can't do it. But I thought it was just ultra convenient that his brother like had an officiant license. Now, I have an officiant license, but seeing that brother, what person was like, I got to get married by that dude? Unless he was like stoned one day and just was like, I'm going to become a minister. Which, by the way, I am, right? I'm a minister in the Universal Life Church. Universal Life Church, I can get married at any time. I can marry you at any time. And, I am like available, maybe. All right, my babes. So, single life. No Tyree, which makes me very, very sad. But yeah, like Natalie finally, this is such a weird thing. The Natalie thing is so weird because I don't know if the producers did a bad job of filming with them or if there were some unusable scenes or Josh and her just stopped filming or they didn't have enough drama because basically with her, it was like the last we saw of her was when she had that dinner party, when she quoted Shakespeare, and Josh's friend was like, "You're amazing. I'm going to push you in my next horror film." And then she goes with her mom to breakfast, and then she goes with her mom, maybe this out of order, to Halloween. And we get a conversation with her mom about how much her mom loves Mike. We got a conversation about how she wishes that Natalie had kids. And Natalie then lets it drop that she would have liked to spend Halloween with Josh, but Josh was not into it. He was with his kids. But then at some point, Christmas either happens or doesn't happen yet, but that Natalie had asked Josh, what's happening for the Christmas? And instead of Josh being like, well, babe, since you were boyfriend, girlfriend, because we've been dating for a year, so obviously we're going to want to be with each other and loved ones over the holiday season. And it'd be a great time since your mom is here to blend families and get to know the kids instead of saying anything like that or caring how she was going to spend the holidays or caring for her at all. He's like, I don't know, bitch. I'm with my kids though. And they don't want to meet you. She just has to swallow that. Now, whether then they had a conversation like, okay, well, meet me at this pier for this lunch and we'll talk about it. Like, we don't know exactly what happens because suddenly it is this awkward coastal meeting. Get married. My question is, did they ever have sex more than the one time they showed? It's a great question. I say yes. I say yes. Her ownership over him and her madness at him for not giving her more makes me feel like yes. And honestly, Josh has never been into her, and he just is like, "What? I don't know. I can't give you what you want. I've done so much. I don't know. I can't give you more. It's just you. You want too much, And here's the thing. Of course, Natalie is a dramatic woman who, of course, wants a lot. Of course, that you've been knowing that. So the thing about it is, it doesn't make him look good for saying this now. It's the obvious thing. Of course, she wants a lot. Of course, look at her. Like, it's just not fair. It's not fair to like know who Natalie is and then not know that she's crazy and then be like, but you're kind of crazy. Like, she's been fucking crazy. You're crazy for like, like throwing it back in her face now. She's needy and wants a lot. That's Natalie. Her name is Natalie. She's needy. She wants a lot. Like, you've been knowing it. So don't string her along and then now use that as the thing. Like, then you shouldn't have been here. Because there was never a time that Natalie was like, Josh, I just want to have casual relationship with you where I never meet your kids and you don't really have to like ever show me attention. Like, that's not what this was. Never. So don't pretend that it was and then make her feel bad and us feel like you're the nice guy. He's not. But at the same time, I will hope the best for his child. The Veronica Jamal Tim thing. Veronica and Tim have like an umbilical cord style connection that I feel like any therapist, if they ever went to a therapist, would point out within 2 sessions. So much so that I find it unbelievable that these two somewhat rational adults don't know how toxic they are in the loop that they are in. I feel like I'm in a place right now of being almost overly sensitive and overly aware of like the ways in which I could be like harming not only myself and my relationships or other people. It's interesting for Tim to be on a date with someone, having not wanted to kiss her, with his ex-girlfriend, and he is asking her like mommy style how he likes his steak. And not be aware that that would be like at all negative. And it's crazy to me that Veronica, who's supposed to, I feel she comes off, she reads as thinking that she like has her shit together, doesn't understand that she's being like hyper controlling and hyper weird and isn't allowing people space to feel their best around her and other things. Like she's so intense and her energy is like scares the shit out of me. Her energy is too aggressive. No man could stay over a man sitting down and take being called a bitch without fighting. Josh said he likes women like Natalie. I don't believe it though. I think that Josh is still with his like that woman we met season 1 that's like I think his child's mom. But basically, yeah. So Veronica like will not tell Jamal that he's right in that she has behaviors that perpetrate the toxic relationship that she has with Tim. And therefore Jamal and like Jamal I think doesn't want to be a part of it. Because if she can't recognize how her behaviors are toxic in this situation with Tim's girlfriend, then she would never be able to also recognize how their relationship is toxic for Jamal. Now, I don't think that Jamal can say it that way because Jamal is like 2, but that's what happens. I think. And I think there's a world in which Veronica and Tim just get back together because I don't think that anyone else can put up with them if they don't choose to change or want to change. Debbie. So Debbie, I don't know what to tell you. If you look at Debbie's face the entire time that she's with Ruben, when they're outside at Ruben's house, she's smiling in such a way. It's kind of like she almost gives me like Deanne Wiest a little bit, and this kind of like it's a pained smile that she gives him. Pained eye smile where I swear I'm just like seeing her like her southern lady like genteel roots of her grinning and bearing a situation that she's not into. She has never been attracted to him. Like she thought she was going to be attracted to him because of the like Latin lover thing. But unfortunately, when she met him in real life and saw what he was wearing and when he wasn't like toned down in a mask way, when he wasn't, and I hate to say this, she has been so fetishizing of Latin men. I think that her idea of Latin men are those like mask style Latino types of men that are full of passion and stuff like that in that way. So she then, in response to that energy, sits back in like a real femme dainty way. And then her like eccentric, colorful nature is just this like pretty kind of like cupcakey style lady on his arm. But instead, with Ruben, he looks like a sprinkle cookie. And she's like, I can't be the sprinkle cookie. I'm kind of like the sprinkle cookies, just like vanilla ice cream a la mode on the side, And I don't think it's the vibe that she wants. And so, yeah, like I literally just kind of see her just like not showing teeth and smiling the whole time. Jamal just wants to be in the show, maybe. I don't see any chemistry. Oh, I agree. I know we're jumping in between two couples, but Jamal just wanted to be in the show after Kimberly. And I think it was just the fact that on that one tell-all, Veronica was the best option there. I'm surprised by this time. I'm surprised he should have, yeah, I'm surprised that he hasn't made a jump. And maybe this is him. I bet he'll make a jump now to a better fit for him within the universe. Who do you think is a good fit for Jamal in the universe? I think he wants something younger and someone a little flashy. It's like Miona obviously is with someone. I know I've said Miona a lot. By the way, side note is Yara and Fiza spent some time together in LA, which made me very happy. I reposted that on the DocuSweeties Instagram. And then finally, John and Megan or whatever. I don't care about them at all. My last reel for DocuSweeties was pointing out how Patrick and Thais and Thais didn't think that John and Megan, should have been moving this fast because they haven't been able to spend that much time together and to know each other in a special way where they can move on their lives towards a path of like a real relationship, mostly because Megan has a daughter and they haven't really spent that much time with her and she's special needs. And John, for all intents and purposes, has verbally said how much he does not want a child. And so they bring this news obviously to Megan and kind of like confront her, and she like didn't get it. We made a reel about this for Instagram, and Caitlin did, and he replied to the DocuSweeties Instagram and sort of body shamed me. This is it. The thing, so I said that they had fucked in a variety of 3 or 4-star hotels, which is basically true, and obviously what Patrick said. And then John said, 4 stars, hotels, first off, and put a shirt on. Nobody want look at that cleavage unless they 15 or desperate. I said, nobody want to look at that cleavage. It's honestly not that offensive. So in this case, I'll take it as an opinion for an opinion. Good luck, John. I think I said cleavage, whatever. It wasn't meant to be. I figured I can critique and give my opinion to what I'm seeing or hearing as well. I thumbs that up. Was supposed to be cleavage, dang autocorrection. I don't know. That's what he said. That happened. And then, it's like, if that didn't happen, and I don't care if it did, it's like, still to the point, it's like, I they're not fun to talk about. This is, like, depressing for them. It's like they're kind of both sad and he's kind of gross. And I know that he said that to me, so he's probably like, "Well, of course that you're gonna think he's gross." But if I didn't say he's gross in this moment, uh, you would still know it to be true because of, like, everything we've seen, like how he doesn't travel with deodorant and he still didn't have deodorant, like, 2 days later, and how he just literally sleeps on his younger, more successful brother's couches and like just a kind of a weird partier with a puffy face that loves Coke and met this girl online and then just like she seems also, interesting and tired a lot and I don't know what they think they're going to do together, but that's the the entire storyline for them. Ugh. Oh yeah, I forgot about Chantel. Chantel's on this episode too. But yeah, so that happened there. Chantel gets this guy to bring her to like some weird festival. She brings all her friends, and the festival isn't as fun and like social as she kind of thought it was. It was like the kind of festival where you just sit at a long table. And she really did not like the attention that was being given to her. And I mean, there wasn't a lot of attention. It's to me, this this Chantel behavior could totally have happened from Natalie, right? Like if Natalie was in this position, this would be the same thing. Where like, of course Natalie wants attention. Of course Chantel wants like attention, but Chantel's attention is like, yeah, she's not getting a lot from this guy, but she's still mad that he won't just like pick her up and just like have her on her lap and stuff like that. It's weird because definitely the editors keep showing him and his friends just sort of talking in different languages and looking at them. And they're doing it in such a way where they're not showing us or telling us what they're saying. And I thought that was interesting. Like, why not? You have the funds, like Google Translate, tell us what these guys are saying. To me, it means that they're not saying anything interesting, but they like the fact that all you're seeing is like a bunch of guys being like, whatever. And so they want to make it look like they're talking shit, maybe, or not wanting to talk to them or whatever. So, but at the same time, I was like, can someone, I want to be like, can someone who like speaks Greek or whatever, I can't remember what those men are talking about. Can someone just tell me what they were saying? Because I really think they were saying like, what do you think of the snails? Do you think the snails taste good? I don't know. Do you think they're liking the snails? Probably not. Look at their faces. They don't look like they're liking these snails. Anyway, what do you want to do later? Let's get some ouzo. I mean, I'm not quite sure, but I want to know. Oh, Chantel and Jamal. That's good. It's good. Chantel's parents are probably not going to like that, but I like it. Oh my God. Can someone write the change position, a change.org petition? We have to get Chantel and Jamal together. That's so good. All right, my loves. I'm going to let you go. I'm going to eat this apple and cheese and I'm going to move on with my day. I hope that you guys have a lot of like either relaxing or fun things happening, either restful or rejuvenating things happening. I hope that you are like keeping yourself safe and stuff like that. I want to talk about Love is Blind. So I like specifically came with all these pictures, but the pictures were of the couples. And so I then decided not to show them because I didn't feel like people here had been given enough opportunity to watch it. And I don't want to give up all the couples to you. Like, I don't want to like spoil that, but just know that I will be talking about them next time. So that's my in. Oh, and traders. Yeah, the traders are the last thing we have to see is like Phaedra got poverty out, which I'm so happy about, and everyone thinks Phaedra's probably a traitor, which she is, and she has to like recruit someone, and the last we pick is she's going to recruit maybe Kate, which I'm excited about because she can't recruit Sheree, she can't recruit MJ, she has to recruit someone that's not necessarily on her team. Kate came late, it's true, but Kate went up against other people and people think of Kate as being a faithful. So it was all very, very, very smart, which made me very happy. Like, to me, her other option is to like try and get CT, but she didn't do it. All right, my loves. Let's do our breath. Oh, did you have to see that? Oh no, Pastor Ben and Mahogany. Did you ever see he have to sell plasma because he's broke? Ooh. I did see that. And then there's all this Reddit conspiracies that like perhaps there's a pill or opiate addiction, because I think that also Mahogany at one point came out and said that she overdosed or almost overdosed or something, but I don't understand that at all. But supposedly they're together. That situation seems crazy and weird. I mean, he gives me the creepy deeps. Anyway, okay, let's do our little breaths. Take everything out, breathe everything back in, take everything out, breathe everything back in. Okay, so taking everything out, blowing it all out. One more in. Yay. Okay, my loves. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that, but other than that, TV is a watching, and I'm happening. I have to catch up on last Sunday's True Detective, but I'll be back next week, Tuesday at 2 to talk about all this stuff. And as you know, DocuSweeties has the individual episode recaps, and our Patreon has our live stream video. And make sure you can follow us at DocuSweeties on Instagram. I'm at Chris O'Farah on all of the social medias, and I have a private Facebook group, Vanity Fair, where I'm posting the link before I go live the night before. But on YouTube, you should be able to just, obviously subscribe, obviously like this video if you haven't, and hitting that notification bell so you know when things are happening. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching and spending time with me. Take care of yourselves and one another. Stand up for what you believe. Make art. Thank you so much for my super chat. I appreciate it. Bye, friends.